Feathered Dynasty, Celestial Stars Against the Martial Arts. Chapter 1. On the night of rebirth, the stars appeared. Tianxing City, the capital of the Feather God Dynasty, is like ink at night, and the lights of thousands of homes reflect this bustling city. At this moment, a young man was crouching in the ancient Tianxing Academy, holding a Qingfeng short knife in his hand, and his eyes were firm. This young man's name is Suzekin, and he has a rare sword martial soul in the world, a legendary martial soul that breaks through the sky. On the night of his 16th birthday, a blood-colored storm hit Celestial Star City, and Suzekin was seriously injured in order to save his relatives and friends, and his soul seemed to be devoured. However, fate did not let him go. He was reborn back to the age of 16, and with the memories of his previous life and the soul of the sword, he decided to change his life against the sky. This time, I want to dominate the heavens and all worlds. Suzekin's eyes were like lightning, and his heart burned with unprecedented battle intent. Chapter 2. The martial soul awakens, and the heavens are different. Suzekin, who was 16 years old, immediately went to Tianxing Academy to report. This is the cradle of martial soul cultivators, and every teenager and girl is waiting for the awakening of martial souls. When it was Suzekin's turn, the audience held their breath. In an instant, a dazzling blue light crossed the sky, and a huge knife appeared in the air. The blade was engraved with ancient runes, and the sword aura was fierce, as if it could cut through the sky. Everyone was amazed, because his sword martial soul was rare and powerful, and even the gods were afraid of it in legends. At the same time, Suzekin also accidentally opened the second martial soul, poetry martial soul, which can kill the enemy with poetry, and language has become the most lethal weapon. Chapter 3. Poetry and Knife, Two Souls Flow. Suzekin's dual martial souls fused, showing unparalleled power. He rose rapidly in the academy and became the target of public criticism, and also attracted the attention of many powerful people. Especially the cold, arrogant, and beautiful poetry martial soul girl Shen Xian. She has an arrow martial soul that can turn into countless sharp arrows, and can chase souls for thousands of miles. The two faced off for the first time. Suzekin's sword soul and poetry soul burst out with amazing sparks, and Shen Xian's arrow soul did not let it go at all. Although the two are competitors, they also gradually develop deep feelings in the continuous confrontation. Chapter 4. Painting the soul is strong, and adversity gives birth to flowers. Outside the Celestial Star City, dark forces are roaming, trying to seize the mysterious relics of the Feathered God Dynasty. Suzekin and Shen Xian teamed up to go to the dangerous situation and encountered Ling Mo, a master of soul painting. Ling Mo's painting martial soul can draw the ground as a prison, blocking the space and making people unable to move. Suzekin and Shen Xian teamed up to break through the treacherous space of painting the soul with poetry, cut the cage with the sword soul, and successfully broke the siege. This crisis made them realize that martial spirits are not only strength, but also a contest of wisdom and state of mind. Chapter 5. The Feather Trial, the Top of the Firmament. Tianxing Academy holds the Feather Trial every year, and those who can pass will be eligible to step into a higher martial soul realm, and even feathered to become an immortal. Suzekin led his fellow students of the academy into the trial, and on the way, he repeatedly encountered traps and strong enemies. During the trial, he showed an unrivaled sword soul slash and poetry soul killing machine, slashing demons, and helping the team to pass all the way. At the end of the trial, Suzekin broke through his own limits and successfully feathered, reaching a realm that was difficult for teenagers to reach. Chapter 6. The Court's Conspiracy, the Enmity of the Family and the Country. The interior of the Feather God Dynasty is not peaceful. The power struggle between the royal family and the important ministers was turbulent, and Suzekin was unexpectedly involved. It turned out that his father was a demoted martial spirit general, and the family was framed. Suzekin is determined to reveal the truth and clean the house. He used the power of the twin martial spirits to secretly compete with the conspirators in the court. The rhythm of the poetic soul hides the code, and the majesty of the sword soul splits many lies. underscore 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 un. Chapter 7, the 10,000 worlds dominate, and the gods and demons clash with each other. After Suozekan became famous in the Feather God Dynasty, he found that he was not in more than one world. The power of the martial soul can open up the passage of the heavens and all the worlds. He embarks on a journey to the 10,000 worlds and encounters martial warriors with various abilities, and the gods and demons also compete in it. With his brilliant twin martial spirits, Suozekan made allies from different worlds to fight against the demon invasion together. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 8, the stars reverse, dominating the rise and fall. After a lot of hardships, Suozekan finally stepped on the peak of the Feather God Dynasty and became an existence known as the Heavenly Star Martial God in legend. He cut the chains of fate with a knife and rewrote the future chapter with poetry. The heavens and all the worlds are shaken by him. I am the master of rise and fall, and all the worlds are at my disposal. He stood on the top of the sky, looking forward to the infinite future. Chapter 9, the mysterious martial soul meeting. The Feather Divine Dynasty's annual Divine Soul Conference is about to open, and it is a grand event that all martial soul cultivators dream of. Martial soul geniuses from all over the world will gather here to compete for the title of Divine Soul Supreme, and the winner will also receive an ancient artifact, the Soul Slashing Knife, which is rumored to greatly increase the power of the sword martial soul. Suozekan was full of confidence, and with the power of the soul of poetry and the soul of the sword, he signed up for the competition. His strength made many contestants jealous, especially Ling Chuihan, the representative of the Ice Arrow clan from the northern regions, whose silent arrow martial soul was known as the soul-chasing arrow, with a range of thousands of miles. In the competition, Suozekan encountered many strong enemies, especially Mo Yan, the peerless soul painter, whose painting martial soul can paint an illusory battlefield maze, which makes people fall into an illusion and find it difficult to extricate themselves. Suozekan used the murderous language of the poetic soul, combined with the domineering momentum of the sword soul, to break the phantom array of Mo Yan and win the applause of everyone. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 10, the Awakened Forbidden Martial Spirit. The climax of the Divine Soul Conference is repeated, and the finals are about to begin. Suozekan had a strange dream on the eve of the game. A silver-white light fell from the sky, touching his sword soul, causing unprecedented changes. The next day, his sword soul suddenly awakened to the heavenly punishment slash, a peerless skill that even the gods feared, capable of slashing through the spatial enchantment in an instant. But this power comes from the taboo, and if used excessively, it will backfire itself. Suozekan was in a dilemma. Should he risk using this power? Underscore 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 un. Chapter 11, Life and Death Duel, Dawn. The final stage is set on the tallest sky tower in Star City, surrounded by clouds and mist, like a fairyland. Suozekan's opponent was Ling Chuihan of the Northern Ice Arrow clan, and the two went from acquaintance, competition to mutual respect, and their feelings gradually warmed up in the battle. The duel began. Ling Chuihan's arrows flew like ghosts, while Suozekan used his sword spirit to swing out 10,000 swords. The light was dazzling. At the critical moment, Suozekan used the heavenly punishment slash and cut off the 1,000 arrow enchantment shot by Ling Chuihan with one sword, shocking the audience. After the victory, Ling Chuihan stretched out his hand to Suozekan, and the two met the challenges of the future side by side. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 12, the Great Chaos of the 10,000 Worlds, the Invasion of Gods and Demons. Not long after the Soul Conference ended, abnormal fluctuations erupted in the heavens and all worlds, and the army of dark gods and demons poured into the Yahua Divine Dynasty from the rifts. Celestial Star City was in chaos, and the city defense army and martial soul cultivators joined forces to resist, but the enemy was strong and the situation was precarious. Suozekan, Ling Chuihan, and Shen Xian formed a core team, using their respective martial soul abilities to lead the group to fight. They discover that there is a bigger conspiracy behind the invasion of gods and demons, and this is a war to seize the top secret of the Feather God Dynasty. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 13, Conspiracy Uncovered, Betrayal and Redemption. When Suozekan was tracking down the conspiracy, he accidentally discovered that his former ally Qin Xian was secretly connected with the dark gods and demons. It turned out that Qin Xian was controlled by the dark gods and demons and became their spy. Su Zekan was deeply distressed, but he decided to save Qin Xian and find a way to lift the control. After a difficult struggle and the spiritual liberation of the poetic soul, Qin Xian finally woke up and helped everyone reverse the tide of the battle. Chapter 14, The Ultimate Showdown, The Soul Returns to One. In the final battle of the chaos of the 10,000 worlds, Su Zekan led everyone to attack the leader of the gods and demons, the dark god monarch Masha. Masha is powerful, able to control the power of destruction and nothingness, and sees everyone fall into a disadvantage. Su Zekan decided to fuse the soul of poetry and the soul of the sword to the limit and release the 10,000 realms slicing the heavens into pieces, brilliantly. The sword flashed like a rainbow, severing the dark chains of the ink and finally sealing it. Chapter 15 The Martial God of All Worlds, The Prosperity of the Eternal Age. The dark gods and demons were repulsed, the Feather God dynasty re-established peace, and Su Zekan was revered as the martial god of all worlds and became a new generation of legends. Together with Ling Chuihan, Shen Xian, and Qin Xian, he guarded the peace of the 10,000 worlds and devoted himself to the research and inheritance of martial spirits. The Feather God dynasty ushered in a new golden age, the martial soul was as brilliant as the stars, and the creatures of all worlds shared the glory of the prosperous era. Chapter 16 On the eve of the storm, old grievances resurface. After Heavenly Star City returned to calm, Su Zekan and his companions were busy, but they didn't notice the undercurrent. One night, a mysterious messenger visited Su Zekan and brought a secret letter from the northern region's Ice Arrow clan. Ling Chuihan's family had suffered a heavy blow, the elders of the clan had been assassinated, and the clan was on the verge of extinction. This made Ling Ju's heart feel like a knife, the ice arrow in her heart was no longer indifferent, and Su Zekan decided to accompany her back to the northern regions. However, Su Zekan discovered that behind this incident was actually related to the remnants of the dark forces within the former Feather God dynasty, and they were waiting for an opportunity to retaliate, intending to set off a new round of storm. Chapter 17, The Battle of the Northern Regions, Swords and Arrows Collide. Su Zekan and Ling Chuihan teamed up to form a defense force to meet the surprise attack of the dark forces in the northern regions. The war was extremely fierce, and the ice and snow and the blades were intertwined into a tragic symphony. Ling Chuihan's arrow soul was used to the extreme, and each of her arrows was as cold and deadly as ice crystals. Su Zekan's sword soul burned like a flame, slashing through the enemy's heavy encirclement. The two have a common heart and support each other in the war. On the battlefield, Su Zekan was accidentally injured by a dark arrow, and Ling Chuihan protected him with an arrow shield, showing rare tenderness. After the war, Su Zekan felt the real bond and trust for the first time, and the relationship between the two went further. Chapter 18, Poetry Soul Fission, Seal Broken. After the battle in the northern regions subsided, Su Zekan found that there was a change within the poetic soul, and it seemed that some kind of power of the seal was about to move. The power of the poetic soul comes from the ancient scriptures, but that power also hides dangers. Once it gets out of control, it will not only hurt the enemy, but also may hurt oneself. Su Zekan devoted himself to cultivation and tried to control the new ability trial of poetry after the fission of the poetic soul, but he accidentally triggered the seal, and the poetic soul erupted with a violent force, almost losing control and devouring everything around him. Shen Xian rushed to hear the news, and used the exquisite rhythm of the arrow soul to appease the poetry soul, and the two worked together to stabilize the situation, and each other's hearts were deeply compatible. Chapter 19, Divine Dynasty Ceremony, Fate Intertwined. The grand opening of the Millennium Ceremony of the Feather God Dynasty, Su Zekan was invited as a guest to show everyone the new technology he had developed to fuse martial souls. In the grand ceremony, heroes from all walks of life gathered together, but there was a hidden murderous opportunity. The old adversary secretly plotted to assassinate Su Zekan with the intention of ending the martial god of all worlds. The crisis was about to erupt. Su Zekan turned the poetic soul into a shield, and the sword soul turned into a sharp blade, and launched a thrilling life and death duel with the opponent. In the end, with the help of his partner, the assassin was captured, the grand ceremony continued, and Suzekin's prestige became more stable. Chapter 20, The Rift in the Myriad Worlds, The Awakening of the Gods. Just as the Feather God Dynasty was silent, a dazzling crack appeared in the sky, and the passage of the 10,000 worlds opened again. Gods from other worlds awaken, they possess more powerful martial powers, and they are eyeing the feathered gods. Suzekin felt the pressure and knew that an even bigger storm was coming. He began to search for ancient texts, seeking the secret of breaking through the limits of martial spirits. Chapter 21 In the Land of Inheritance, the Ancient Martial Spirit Awakens. Suzekin and his companions embark on a journey to find the Land of Inheritance, a mysterious realm hidden in the depths of the heavens and 10,000 worlds. Here, they were tested by the ancient martial soul, each of which tested the limits of their minds and martial soul power. Suzekin realized a new way of fusing the soul of the sword and the soul of poetry, and created the resonance of the sword knife, which can use poetry to guide the sword soul to slash, and the power is greatly increased. At the same time, Ling Chuihan, Shen Xian, and Qin Zian also comprehended the new martial soul mysteries. Chapter 22, The Ultimate Trial, The Birth of the Martial God of All Worlds. In the final trial, Suzekin faced a huge test of his own will. Dark temptations and lust for power are intertwined, and he must stick to his original intention. He sang ancient poems with his poetic soul, cut off the evil entanglement with his sword soul, and finally broke through his own limits and reached the realm of martial god of all worlds. Suzekin joined hands with his partners to prepare for a new round of decisive battle between the gods and demons, and vowed to protect the Feather God Dynasty and the peace of all worlds.